So what are the last battles that Zoro's gonna have to take on before he's ready to fight Mihawk? Because I can't lie, him fighting and holding his own this way against Lucci is a good step in the right direction, but I do think he has 3 solid people that he needs to be able to beat before he can take on Mihawk himself. And that first person is Seiryu the Rain, because his observation is not as good as Sanji or Luffy's, and if he wants to be able to beat Mihawk, you gotta be able to at least deal with an invisible dude. Ultimately, a fight against somebody like Seiryu should put Zoro in the realm of possibly Future Sight, at least like a 1-second variant of it, so that he can fight somebody like Mihawk in the future. After him, I have Elder Star Zoro. This is a dude that Zoro's definitely gonna have to be able to fight against if he wants to be able to take down Mihawk one day. And it's mainly due to how fast this dude is, because he was literally galloping all over Egghead, cutting down each one of these pacifistas before anybody could do anything about it. For Zoro to even clash against this man, he needed Jinbei to pick him up and throw him at Zoro, because he would not be able to keep up on his own. In a fight like this, Zoro will have to get his speed and mobility on point, because if that's not on point, you're never taking down Mihawk. Not to mention, outside of the immortality, I think that Zoro might be like the strongest of the Gorosei outside of Garland. What he was able to do right here to Punk Records is reminiscent of what Mihawk did to that frozen tsunami back at Marineford. Only difference is Zoro did that on purpose and Mihawk did this on accident. Not to mention, since Zoro has that immortality, Zoro will have to get his Conqueror's Haki on point to be able to cut somebody like that down in the first place. So not only would he have to get his mobility on point to be able to fight somebody like that, but it would also force him to put his Conqueror's Haki on point too. But spoilers for his last opponent before Mihawk, cause I'm talking about Elbaf stuff now. And that would be Shanks' brother and commander of the Holy Knights, Shamrock. We don't see a lot of Devil Fruit weapons in the story, and I don't think Zoro has ever had to like actually fight one, so him having to deal with one before Mihawk I think makes a lot of sense. Especially because when Mihawk was fighting Luffy, he was even saying out loud that, "Can you escape this Black Blade Yoru?" He was talking about his sword like it was a different person. Not just that, but I think this is the perfect final fight for Zoro before Mihawk, because each of these Cerberus heads has a sword, so it's technically a 3-sword style. And Zoro fighting the commander of the Holy Knights in a 3-sword style versus 3-sword style battle, I think is the perfect final fight before Mihawk. Not to mention, by that point, he should have his conquerors on point so that he can cut him down should he land a clean hit in the first place. And before somebody says it, no, I don't think he's going to fight Garland, because this dude honestly seems more like a dragon or at least a Sabo opponent, not a Zoro. So long story short, before Zoro fights Mihawk, he needs to get his observation on point versus Seiryu, his mobility on point for Zoro, and his conquerors and sword skills on the next level so that he can deal with somebody like Shamrock. And I would say only after beating these 3 people will he finally be ready to take on the world's greatest swordsman.